Huh. Okay. Just wait for the spinning ball to tell me I'm live, and then later I can see, yes, I was live, already talking about all this stuff. And notifications while I'm trying to go live. Okay, great. Um, it's Wednesday again. It used to be on Wednesdays we go nowhere, so we did a Facebook Live, and then of course Emma's school thing changed. But it's March break, so we're still going nowhere, which is great. New shirt, new mug. I know, it's great. It says not your grandmother's quilter. Totally not your grandmother's quilter. I love this logo. It's from Cheryl Sloboda at muppin.com. She is American, but she does heirloom sewing, and she talks a lot about the quilting business, so I'm kind of a fan. So, that's pretty good. Anyway, right before I was about to hit the live, I could hear something outside, and it was the Perlator truck. Whee! I know, and literally, like, the box is still cold. It is the Silly Moon rulers that I needed to restock, and a couple of new ones got here right quickly. Because if you are in the Fredericton Guild, you saw at last month's Zoom meeting, we had a presentation. My phone's dinging with notifications because my mom left a comment. Yes. Mom wanted to know if we go yellow on Sunday, will we be opening for customers on Monday? Yes, Mom, that's the plan. I might have mentioned it in the newsletter. There's going to be a quiz later, Mom. Oh, pardon me. So, right. So if you were in the Fredericton Guild and you were waiting because I very quickly sold out of what I had to get lots more. We had a presentation from Silly Moon Quilting Rulers. So you buy a ruler from me, get to take one of her classes. Everything's awesome. Your quilting turns out more fabulous. Everyone's happy. So that's that. So I got to get these. I'm having a really busy day today. So I got to get these on the website so people can buy them. So they can come in next week. But I think there's the class this weekend. So I got to hop to it for some people. The other fun thing that's happening is I finally put in an order to restock the Konas. I love this color chart. I wish they would print a new one because this is an old one and there's way more colors. Well, not way more colors, but enough more colors. So every time I restock, I try to order a few more colors, get all the colors you're out of, plus extra black and white because you just can't keep that in stock. Did you know I will sell you a full bolt of black and white if I have it? Black or white. Anyway. Yeah, so I restocking the Kona, and then I add more colors, and we're quickly getting nice and stuffed here. So that was done. Rulers were restocked. Northcott, thank God. Geez. Got all antsy and angsty the other day. I don't know where I get this from. Wondering where the heck all my Northcott stuff was that I'd been ordering. Wow, here it is. So there is 2 smallish collections coming. One's a baby panel. By the time I went to pre-order it, some of the good stuff was already gone, and it looks like by the time they filled the order, at least one bolt was already gone. So at least we're getting a little bit. And then a rainbow type graphic panel. I will show you these later. And a bunch of backward stuff that they missed the last few orders. Oh, some flannel backing. People keep asking for flannel backing. Well, I'm getting 2 colors. That's good. It's not always a huge selection in flannel backings. So I can't believe, okay, that thread was, yes. They supply some Aurifil thread too, and I can't believe I didn't restock the 2600. That reminds me, I have an order coming from the other place. Haven't seen it yet. Don't know where it is. Okay. But then I ordered some more backings, and none of those are coming either. So great. Yeah, I should probably, I found an article that explained a bit more of the fabric and why, even over and above the pandemic stuff, there's been a lot of delays and everything's back ordered all the time and shipments take forever. Cotton crop wasn't very good either. So I have an article to stick in the newsletter for this week, as long as I remember. So I got 3 devices that I read stuff on, and then I'll leave things open in tabs to keep track of it. And, totally forget what device it was on. Anyway. Mom, you will be horrified. This is a brand new mug, and I forgot to wash it first, so I made a nice fresh pot of tea this morning. A nice hot cup of tea right in my new mug. Started sipping it this morning, and it was really disgusting. Nothing will wreck your day faster than your first cup of tea, first mouthful of tea in the morning. That's gross. I mean, my mom will agree. Oh, okay, put that on the floor. The other thing I finished, not that, these are all the scrap blocks for that scrappy trail mix quilt that I'm making. Trail mix is a free pattern from All People Quilts, and I don't like how it's laid out because they get you to. It was just really difficult how they worded it, and like you need 4 of this color, but you also need more pieces of this same color later. It was just the instructions weren't written efficiently for cutting out the pieces out of coordinating fabrics if you weren't going super scrappy, which they didn't go on super scrappy in their instructions. They did whatever, but anyway, so this is all the blocks, and I'm like, there's so many tiny pieces in some of them. I mean, look at these 999 patch blocks. There we go. It's very scrappy. It's very in your face. I mean, maybe a better, more contrasting one here. It's just, I just threw the book at these. Did not do, didn't overthink any kind of color placement, just threw it all in there. Told Ron he could have it for naps. Sure, I'm making this for you, honey. See, it's just all kinds of fabric that won't die. Of course, I wasn't paying attention, so I have a bunch of leftover blocks and of some of these. You just keep cutting and sewing, and then it's like, oh, you need 24 of these. I'm like, somehow I have 30. Okay, so I have enough to make a baby quilt with, my mom's nodding, I know she is. Going to alternate plain blocks and scrappy like this. And then it'll be a scrappy little baby type quilt. So that's that. I still have a shopping bag full of scraps relating to that, because of course I do. And Ron said to me, because I said, I'm done doing these blocks. What do I even do with my life now? He was like, you could sew the blocks together. Don't be ridiculous. Now we just set them aside in a bag. Leave them till I feel like sewing them together. But sometimes I lay them all out. Sometimes I don't. These ones, I'm just going to put them together willy-nilly, as long as there's no fabrics in one block touching the ones in the next blocks. Don't care. Just throwing it together. And feel the love, right? As my mom says, just the love in this room is just, yeah. So anyway, this is my roll of soft fuse. The other stuff that came in, I ordered this from the U.S. I know, it's been a while since I ordered anything from the U.S., but the only way I can get the soft fuse is directly from the gals that make it. I have some customers who love this stuff. It is paper-backed fusible web for hand or machine applique. And the reason they love it is because it is very, very thin and very, very fine. And like, this is some of it off the paper, but as you know, I am not a fan of making applique quilts. I do love how they look. Kudos to you if you make them. It's not one of the things I like to do. I do have to test these things. Every so often I do something that's applique to think, well, this is really pretty. Let me try it one more time. And I'm like, no, still don't like it. Just do not like making these things. So I have that back in stock, and I can tell you it is very, very soft. And even when you have multiple like layered pieces on something, you gotta layer all these pieces, and then everything builds up, and you've got the fusible web in there, and then it gets kind of thick. This does not do that. It totally doesn't. This is an 18-inch roll, 30 pieces, 37 by 18. So that's 3 yards basically. They're 18-inch wide. wide. And I did have to raise the price a little to $28 for this, but it is fantastic. I have quilted quilts where the ladies have used this to make their quilts and done the applique, and I'm telling you, I can tell the difference. As the quilter, I can tell the difference, because usually if in the same sort of month or time frame or week or whatever, I did quilted 2 applique quilts, and one of them, I know the person used this because that's all she uses. And the other one, I don't know what brand the person uses, but I know they used something cheap because I could tell the difference. Every time I quilted around each piece and had to go through fusible web, especially where it was layered up, the needle just went thwack, 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 thwack. And it also, I was trying to use a finer thread. It also kept cutting the thread on me. Like, it was that bad. Like, it's not, yeah. But on the stuff that this was used with, very, very nice. Checking my thing. Speaking of guild meetings, and I was, when I talked about the Silly Moon rulers, because that was last month for the Fredericton Guild. There's a lot of guilds in Fredericton. So this month, tonight exactly, for example, I don't know, going for a word in there, don't even know what it is. Like I said, did not have the right tea this morning, messing up my whole day. Anyway, I am going to be the guest at the Elm City Guild this evening, and I'm going to give a shop tour just in time, hopefully, for opening up into yellow, and then people can come in and see what I have, which is probably a lot more than last time they were in, which could have been before Christmas. If it was before Christmas, heck yeah, there's a whole pile of new stuff in here. So if you are in a guild and you are watching, even if you are outside of the Fredericton area, I do ship things. So it would be my pleasure to pop into your meeting virtually and give you a little shop tour so you can see what's in the shop instead of just browsing it on the internet, which I do like to do, and I know some people don't. But you can see where your stuff comes from, and then when you place your order, you'd be like, you can imagine that I'm right here and I'm doing up your order. Like, I have one sitting right over there that you can't see that I did up yesterday that I have to package and get in the mail. But it has been stupid cold here and very, very windy, and I was like, I'm not going out there yesterday because my car was going to protest, and I was like, no, not doing it. Not gonna do it. Yeah. Sorry, just getting into funny voices here. I wonder what my mother's working on today. Right. I did start working on those French macaron quilt blocks too, but I got bored because you've got to snowball the corners and they're like 50, 60 blocks. And I'm like, this is nuts, man. Who thought of this? It's gonna be super nice when it's done, but actually, so I did that one. But I was going to talk about the time change, and I'm starting to wake up earlier because the closer it gets to the time change in the spring, the earlier I start waking up, which to me is great because I'm a morning person. I understand some people don't get that. But then again, I'm falling asleep at 9 o'clock at night. But to me, it's like more daylight hours for sewing, like in between customers. And I do have the sewing machine set up in my shop. I'm thinking of just leaving it there because I can still wait on customers and not continuously bang into everything. And they can see what I'm working on. So I'm thinking it'll be okay. What about you? You looking forward to the time change? Hope so. I think we're all looking forward to like the zone change if we can go into yellow because people aren't being stupid. I'm super happy that they are waiting until after March break because that's what I was saying before March break was like they gotta wait until after because if they say yellow for March break, people are gonna go nuts. We don't want to do that. And then I was like, what do I talk about? I don't have anything new yet. I have new stuff coming. Yeah, but I don't know. I want to see the new stuff. There's still some old stuff that I did get. Did I get? Yeah. I got the Northcott canvas that got restocked. I got most of those back onto the site. So they're showing up as more quantity, which is great. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about batting today because a lot of quilters even they've been quilting for years, just like it's just batting, isn't it? They always get the same kind. They haven't really noticed that a bunch is there, or there's just whatever my quilter sticks in my quilts, or whatever you use for hand quilting. I mean, 30, 40 years ago, you went to buy quilt batting, you pretty much had one choice. Eventually, you had two. So, oh, I don't have, oh, maybe I do have. I quilted some quilts. Of course I did. These ones I did for a customer, and I put the poly batting in because she likes it nice and puffy. You see how big and puff and fluffy these are? This is the polyester batting. And I did some really loose, open quilting. You can see like the stitching is just really, it's not very dense. There's not a lot of it. It's just like a nice meander. As my mom would say, it looks more like a boughten quilt, like a purchased quilt from the store. She gave me a sheet. This quilt owner gave me some sheets. I don't care if you bring sheets for your backing. But yeah, it's the poly stuff. That the poly will make it's nice and fluffy. It will make those nice and fluffy and lightweight quilts. This is also the stuff that some of the hand quilters like to use because it does have that puffy look. And the needle just glides right through it very, very easily. The other thing, so that's the poly. I get the quilts, the batting in big, huge boxes. Batting is in boxes like this, and it's on a big roll. It's folded in half on this roll, so it's twice that width. And then I cut off the shortest side of whatever you need. That's like a 9/6. That's the 80/20. 80/20. Now, what is 80/20? It's 80% cotton, 20% polyester. Because if you get the 100% cotton, which one of these? There isn't. Okay. If you get the 100% cotton and you're using it in a quilt, it needs to have something called scrim. And I thought scrim meant like those little organic pieces of the cotton plant. That's what no, that's not that at all. Scrim is this really lightweight layer of almost like interfacing, really, really fine stuff that they put on the back of the cotton to help hold it all together so it doesn't bunch. Like years ago when you got 100% cotton batting, and you'll see this in really old quilts too. You can tell the battings, if it's not quilted close enough, all the batting is sort of clumped all together. And honestly, this is the wrap and zap, the stuff that you use in the microwavable bowls. And it's 100% cotton, and it doesn't have any scrim because that's going to like catch on fire in the microwave. I'm really, really good at catching things on fire in the microwave, so you don't want to do that. But I did notice in the your binding, the second pink and purple, my mom's binding. I thought you were going to send that to Marge. Anyway, I made a soup microwavable bowl holder thingy for the shop for a sample, and then of course once we were out of that fabric, I'm like, okay, this is mine. And I do use it. But I noticed after I washed it, it clumped really bad because all they do is they get you to quilt a big X through the middle. And I'm like, this needs to have a lot more quilting. So yeah, and I did try hand quilting some cotton, and I did not like doing that. I found it was really no bueno, as they said, no good. It was very hard to go through. But I do get some smaller bolts of stuff. They just fold it 4 times. This is not the Hobbs 80/20, but this is the Pellon 80/20, and it's just a different brand. So there is this is like a little bit thinner. And I find the Pellon 80/20 to be like thicker and closer to felt like. So I find this one's really good for things like placemats if you wanted to put batting in there. If you want batting in your placemat. Because it's nice and thin and flat and sort of, felt like. Not sure how it would do in a quilt. I'm going to test that. I'm going to buy myself a big roll of these and work on my own quilts this summer. That was the other thing I was going to mention. My long arm quilting is booked up all the way until June. I was like, what am I going to do? And then I was like, you know what? I think I will take the summer off quilting. So I'm going to take the summer off of quilting. I'm going to work on my own stuff. And then I will get back at it in the fall, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out then. I do like the new schedule that I've stuck to, so I'm sure when it opens up again in the fall, it's just going to fill up pretty quickly. But I really just want to focus on the custom quilts, and I've been referring a lot of the all over stuff and the people who need stuff done quickly to one of the new quilters in the area. She's having a blast and I'm having a blast. I'm happy for her. Honestly, I really am, because there's more work than the quilters that are around can handle at this point, really. Nobody wants to be overworked. So anyway, so you notice this batting is a nice creamy natural cotton color. So the one thing, you can get like the 80-20 in a bleached white. So if you have like a really white quilt and you put the creamy colored natural batting in it, you can sort of see, this is high-end quilt picky quilt quilting police kind of stuff, but you can kind of see the creaminess behind your white fabric. So if you do white quilts and you started to notice the cotton coloring in the batting, you might want to switch to a bleached white batting. But I also got this in a 108 wide. This is a piece I cut off, just so it 108 by 108, just so it's already cut in case somebody wants one. Because the regular width in that box is 96, and if you've made a quilt that's over 96 on one side or the other, you just need bigger batting, unless you wanted to piece it, and that's just no fun. So yeah, I got a combo bolt that's the bleached and it's extra wide for the bigger quilts. The bigger quilts are the ones that need the white. Yeah, there is also black batting. I didn't bring it up here. So if you have a black quilt that's black on top, and or it's really, really dark, like navies, browns, and it's mostly dark. The thing with some batting too is you can have some bearding where the little fibers of the batting start poking out through the fabric. Seems like lint most of the time. And if you have a dark quilt and you put the white batting inside, or the cream natural color, then you've got this lighter lint that's all over your quilt all the time. So I just like to put the black batting into the dark quilts just because it's nicer. Same price. It's just nicer. So the other thing, oh yeah, that was wrapping that. The other one I have is wool. I don't have a lot of wool. It's expensive. I have some bamboo too, but I didn't bring that upstairs. I got to keep most of them downstairs because I don't have room for, half a dozen of these boxes in the shop. It's just no room. There's just no room. So this one is wool, not all wool. It's like 100% wool blend. So it is a blend, and it isn't saying how much. But I have quilted wool quilts. It doesn't feel great when you're feeling it, but I mean, because it's wool, right? So it's a little scratchy, but it makes a nice, really warm quilt. It makes a heavier quilt. It drapes beautifully, but it is a little spendy. It's a little more expensive, and I didn't put the price on this, so I can't even tell you how much. I know it's on my website somewhere. Anyway, so there's that. So you have lots of options when you do your quilt for how you want it to look in the end. Like, the 80-20 or the 100% cotton gets you that nice flat look. The 80-20 is the most common because that wears really well because it's got enough polyester that's it's not gonna clump. It's gonna wash really well. You can chuck it in the washer and the dryer. Yeah, I chuck my quilts in the washer and the dryer. I do. If they can't last through that, they're not going to last through some kids. I don't teach that with show quilts. Well, no. Okay, we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, the wool makes the nice bed quilts. Then you've got the white, the bleached white for white quilts, and the black for the black quilts, so the dark ones. And then the bamboo. Oh, that's a nice drapey one, just a little more natural fibers if you're into that and you wanted to try it. Not as expensive as the wool, but lightweight too, so it's not heavy. It's like I want the drape, but I don't want the heavy. Then you would get maybe the bamboo. And I don't have a lot right now, but I will even sell you an entire roll of this, which if you're doing a lot of quilts, yeah, you can get that's 30 yards on a roll. And if you're using at least 3 yards of quilts of a bedside, that's like 10 bed-sized quilts. Really, that's all it is. It's 10 quilts if you're making big ones. A little more if you're doing the lap quilts. I started doing that 5 years ago anyway, when I was just making like tons and tons of quilts. I'm just like, I gotta buy a roll of batting because this is ridiculous buying like the little bags of it, which those are marked up extra because they cost a lot to ship. That's why I don't stock them, because I got all these rolls here. I'm just going to cut you off a piece and you'll save money. So there's that. I know it's a quiet morning. I'm kind of rambling. Always rambling. I know. Gonna wrap it up here soon. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I know. And I've got a busy day. I gotta clean my shop for the tour. Good thing I started last week in anticipation of everything opening up. I think we're all gonna be so relieved. But I know some people don't like shopping online, and I still didn't get around to making a video how to shop online, which would be helpful. But then I'd have to tell you over the phone how to go look for it. Anyway, um, some people, they just want to come in and see the stuff. It's a tactile thing. I totally get it. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to how tired I'm going to be the first week or so, all next week, and see how much stuff I'm going to run out of in a hurry. I'm going to pre-cook all my meals this weekend, so that'll be fun. Angela's wondering if the word blend on the wool might mean wool from various sources. Probably not, because that's usually what they do with wool anyway, is blend it from various sources. In this case, it means they blended it with the cotton and possibly some polyester. It's just not on the end of the bolt, and I just have to confirm that. I'm pretty sure it's mixed. It's like, because it's not 100% all wool, because that would be really, really pricey. And it's Pellon, so I'm like 98% sure it's blended with something else. Just because I vaguely recall reading it in the description, I just didn't look it up on my own site before I did this kind of stuff, and before I talked about it. Sometimes I sound really knowledgeable on a subject because I've gone and refreshed my memory right before I talk about it, but not this time. So anyway, so the Northcott stuff that is coming, like it's like 2 pages, and half of it is like, nope, I'm not sending you this. Nope, we're not sending you that. But we're sending you this other stuff. Great. I expect this to get here by Friday, maybe, if it's not here by Friday. I was talking to Danielle and I, because the other shop owner of the cafe, Chloe's Quilting Cafe, because we both order from Northcott, so we were just like, dang, why can't they just send us a tracking number so we can just obsessively watch? I mean, it'll get here. If it's not here Friday, it'll get here Monday, probably, while there's a buttload of people in my yard. So that'll be fun. Yeah. Are you over winter? I'm over winter. New books? No new books. No new books. Nope, not since the last time, which I still don't have them listed on my website because I'm tired. Anyway, yes, I meant to tell Angela one of the guilds was looking for a particular quilt book that had all kinds of blue quilts in it, and I did. Nobody asked, but I saw them looking for it, so I did go hunt down in my suppliers to see if any of them had it, and they didn't, because it wasn't like this year's printing, or maybe it just came out and they still didn't have it. I thought maybe it was like last year or the year before, 2016 or something. That's why, might have been why my suppliers didn't have it, I guess. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I do know there are new books coming out though. Angela is a fan of quilt books. I should just get her to order books for me. Except just be like a quilting bookstore. Yes, Angela, you're probably late. This showed up right before I was gonna go live, so it's in this box. The Silly Moon Rulers, thank you for reminding me. I did get the maple leaf templates as well as the restocking. So they are in this box, and I will be unpacking them today. I do have the dude. He's 20 bucks. He's $20. I have red ones and pink ones. Are they showing on the site? That's a good question. So I will be sorting that out, or ping me on something and I will send you the link to it directly, and it just might not have a picture on it because, of course, if it doesn't have a picture yet, it's hiding, but you can still buy it if I send you the link directly. Yeah, so 9:30, time for me to wrap up. If you have any questions, contact me later. If you're in the Elm City Guild, I'll see you tonight. This Wednesday, if you're watching this on a later time. Yeah, I guess I better get going. All right, I will see you all later, and you guys keep quilting.